Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about Putin's new posture and what it means, what was said, and what the reality is. And then we're going to talk about the foreign policy strategy that Russia seems to be shifting to. So, if you missed the news, Putin has come out and said, we have this new super rocket, this missile. It's amazing. It's great. We've tested it. It's the most wonderful thing in the world. You can never stop it. Blah, 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 blah. It's worth noting that the NGO and intelligence assessments, they all pretty much have a consensus on this, and it doesn't work. They've been working on it for years, and it actually doesn't really function. So it's just more... It's more saber rattling from Putin. The other thing that is of note is that he has indicated that, they may withdraw from the test ban treaty. They may start testing their nukes again. Well, okay. I would prefer they not do that. And that is a little bit of a step, but you need to think about the real message it's sending. Russia was a country that not too long ago was viewed as a potential near peer. This was a country that theoretically and realistically, had Putin not squandered the youth of his country, theoretically, it could have rivaled the U.S. and China. A multipolar Cold War. Go back 3 or 4 years. And that's what you were hearing. Because people expected Russia to behave in a certain way. They expected Russia to be a real player and meet the United States and China as equals. That means that they would have to behave in a similar fashion. Not identically, but in the way China is starting to experiment with soft power more and really come into its own there, and more on a diplomatic and monetary scene than we've got missiles. Over the last year or so, their position has gone from being seen as a near peer or a potential near peer to basically adopting the foreign policy stance of North Korea. We have missiles and we're going to test them. This is not a position of a country that is secure in its position. This is not rhetoric you would expect from somebody who believes they are going to win the elective war they started. It's certainly unnerving. It's not something you want to hear. Nobody likes to hear about the potential use or test of strategic arms. But I would remind everybody what a lot of people are experiencing for the first time. That was just life prior to the end of the Cold War. And the real message that's being sent by this, it's not one of strength. It's not one of a country that is powerful and technologically advanced. It's one of a country that is, scared. The United States doesn't often talk about its nuclear deterrent. It's not something that comes up. China really doesn't either. You know why? Because they have a functioning military. They don't have to use nukes. They don't have to threaten to use nukes. They have force projection capabilities that are functional. Russia has lost that. So now the rhetoric is very similar to that of North Korea. That's how far Russia has fallen during this period. I know it's unnerving. I wouldn't personally worry about it too much. Easy for me to say living in the middle of nowhere. But I don't see this as an immediate concern or something you should lose sleep over. The real takeaway isn't what he said about wonder weapons or, pulling out of a treaty. It's really that Russia is having to fall back on nuclear rhetoric. That's not something world powers do because they don't need to. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.